Hey guys, this is Nirpam from the Underwater Photography Guide and Blue Water Photo. Today I'm excited to show you guys the Ikelite DS-232 underwater strobe. This is Ikelite's highest end underwater strobe. That is an upgrade from the DS-230 and retails for $14.95. It offers a whopping 213 watt seconds of power, which is about 30% more than the DS-160 and DS-161, as well as a new integrated underwater video light with 2500 lumens of power for underwater video. And otherwise, it's about the same strobe as the DS-230, which you probably saw in my previous review video and underwater review that I posted with photos from Socorro. Well, we've taken the DS-232 to Dumaguete, Philippines, as well as California, and we've been shooting with it in the water, and it's been an awesome strobe, just as high performing as the DS-230, but it does have that added video feature. Now, I'm gonna do a full review of this strobe, so in case you don't know about the DS-230, you're going to learn a lot about it, but the 232 is a nice upgrade for about 300 more for a 2500 lumen video light. Okay, so when we talk about output with Ikelite strobes, they aren't measured in guide numbers, it's actually measured in watt seconds, which is true power output. Most of the high-end strobes around guide number 33 are putting an output of about 160 watt seconds, so this is going to be about a slightly higher guide number than that. At 213 watt seconds, you're going to be able to take fantastic photos in very bright conditions with sun rays in shallow, clear water. This should be enough power to fight ambient light and allow you to shoot in very bright light, even if you're photographing dark, quick subjects like sea lions. At the highest power, the recycle time is 1.2 seconds, which makes the strobe extremely quick for wide-angle photographers who want to shoot, sharks, rays, dolphins, anything quick. This is going to do the trick. I shot this in Socorro and got some incredible photos with burst shooting in a photo series. And anything under that full power is going to be quicker than 1.2 seconds. So you're actually getting really quick recycle times because most of the time you're going to be shooting at half power or a quarter power. So it's an extremely fast strobe and a great value for that. Now, what makes this possible is the Ikelite battery packs. These are nickel metal hydride battery packs. They're not lithium ion. You can actually check them into your bags, and they last 10 to 15 years. So they're very durable and really incredible, and it's what allows you to have that quick recycle time. Now, you can use your old battery packs from the DS-160s and DS-161s, and because they're the same battery packs, you actually do have a slightly reduced battery life with the DS-230 and DS-232 because you have higher output, higher power that you can get from these strobes. So the battery life is about 300 shots at full power on one battery pack. So I do recommend switching battery packs every 3 dives or so if you're diving in bright tropical conditions. If you're not, if you're mostly at half power or under, then I might consider switching them every 4 to 5 dives, which is what I typically do in the Pacific Northwest and West Coast. When we were in Dumaguete, we were switching basically after every day of diving, which is 3 dives a day. Now, these battery packs do make the strobe a little bit bigger than other strobes on the market. They clock in at about 2.5 pounds, I believe. Now, this updated design is actually pretty beneficial because it is a shorter strobe than the original Ikelite DS-160 and 161. Both the 230 and 232 are shorter, they are smaller. So I did enjoy using that and having that added size benefit even though you are getting more power. Another of my favorite aspects of this design is it does have better ergonomics now. There are some updated dials when it comes to the on and off switch, as well as the power dial. The strobe also has a fuel gauge that tells you how much power and battery life you have left. So here, if you do a battery test with light, it tells me that I'm at 2, which means that I'm at about half power, and I probably want to change the battery if I'm going to go for a full day of diving. Another cool feature in the design is there is a lock on the strobe, which allows you to lock the switch when you're traveling, so you don't have to worry about the strobe accidentally turning on, and that's super useful and something I use when I'm traveling. So let's talk a little bit about the image quality coming from the strobe. I absolutely love the beam. It's 120 degrees in terms of the width. You actually don't really need a diffuser. I mean, I usually don't shoot diffusers when I'm shooting the DS-230 or the DS-232. The beam angle is good enough for me. If you do want to add a diffuser for some extra width, let's say you're using a fisheye lens, you can. That diffuser does add some backscatter, but those pieces of backscatter are going to be smaller. Typically though, even in Socorro or a wide angle situation, or in Dumaguete where we're shooting mostly macro, I like shooting the strobes without diffusers, and that's what we were doing. The color temperature is a little bit cooler from the DS-160s and DS-161s. I actually like that a little better, even though if you do an adjustment with a warmer strobe, you will get bluer water in the background. I find that the colors are a little more accurate with the DS-230 and DS-232. There's no hot spots in the middle of the beam, so when I shoot something like sharks, I notice that it's very nice and smooth on the skin of the shark, and you don't get this bright spot coming back at you. So that's been pretty cool as well. And most importantly, with the new video feature, you do have a nice wide beam with the 2500 lumen video light. Now, 2500 lumens isn't a whole lot of power. If you are a dedicated video shooter, I would recommend a dedicated video light, and we're happy to drop those recommendations in the description below, so check that out. But 2500 lumens is enough for macro video. It's a good amount of power, and at a 120-degree beam angle, it's a very nice beam, and it makes the overall scene very nice and even. So I would recommend this for macro shooting, or if you have two strobes, then you have 5000 lumens of power, and you can do some wide angle shots with it. But if you're gonna do wide angle and very clear, shallow water, I might recommend a few more lumens. Now, finally, when it comes to triggering the strobe, there's a few options here. Ikelite does have its sync cord port, but it does have fiber optic adapters if you want to shoot fiber optic cables with a strobe. But most importantly, Ikelite actually has a nice series of TTL converters that work great with the DS-232. I was using them when I was shooting, and it makes it so that the strobe basically goes on auto mode. All you have to do is put the on-off switch into TTL. Sorry, I mean the mode switch right there in TTL. And you don't have to adjust the strobe at all. Your camera is going to do the work for you and tell the strobe what power to fire at. Now, Ikelite's TTL does work with every brand of housing as long as there's an M16, M24, or M14 port, bulkhead, I should say. But you'll need to get some recommendations on how best to convert the TTL converter to your brand of housing if you don't have an Ikelite housing, and we're happy to help you out with that. So just reach out to us at sales@bluewaterphotostore.com and we'll get you set up with that. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, make sure you drop them below. We'll leave a link to the strobe in the description. Make sure you buy it from Blue Water and support our content. If you have any questions at all, or you want to get set up with a TTL or a full system for your strobe, make sure you reach out to us at sales@bluewaterphotostore.com, and we're happy to help you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys out there diving.